Before we get into this video, I want to take a moment to introduce the voice you're about to hear. Lynae Vanee isn't just someone who went viral. She's someone who uses her platform with purpose. She's an educator, a poet, and a storyteller who brings history, culture, and real-life issues together in a way that's both powerful and accessible. With a background in African American studies and experience in the classroom, she doesn't just speak. She teaches, she challenges, and she brings receipts. A lot of people know her from her Lot Pimpin series, but everything she does is rooted in something deeper: awareness, accountability, and care for the Black community. So as you watch this, don't just hear it. Really listen to what's being said.
In the past 2 weeks, we have lost 4 Black women to intimate partner violence. Say their names. Serena Waisner Fairfax, murdered by her husband, former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. Tammy McCullum, a pastor in North Carolina. Coral Springs Vice Mayor Nancy Mateo Bowen. Devontae Curtis, a Black trans woman beaten to death by her boyfriend in Chicago. And not to mention 2 adult women shot, 1 killed, 2 of them the mothers of the 8 children also shot and killed by their father, Shamar Elkins, just a few days ago. I just found out there was a pregnant Black woman found in Houston, dead. So Black men, I'm gonna have to call you to the front of the room and ask you a couple of questions. Is that okay? Yeah. When are you gonna stop saying it's not all of y'all and make sure it's none of y'all? Yeah. When are we gonna be important enough for you to tell the DJ to turn off R. Kelly at the function? When, Usher Raymond, are we going to be important enough for you to have something bad to say about Diddy? When is Chris Brown going to have allegedly battered enough women for you, men and women, to stop packing out his concert tours? When are you going to stop calling yourself a high-value man and start actually appreciating on some of your assets? When are you going to realize that you got to be a man to begin with before you can put the alpha in front of it? And newsflash, once you get to being a man part down packed, you won't need to put an alpha in front of it. When are you going to stop channeling all the rejection you receive from the rest of the world onto me when I say no? When are you going to stop believing that because you don't get to have a voice on the job, against the police, to the bill collector, to your landlord, or even amongst your friends because you don't know how to advocate for your own emotional safety, then you get to silence my voice? When are you going to stop unleashing all the anger pent up inside of you onto me? Talking about I'm emasculating you when you get on your knees for capitalism every chance you get? When are you going to stop being mad at me because the systemic structures strategically put me on a path to outpace you even when I still make space for you? When are you going to stop killing off the only lifeline you got? Answer me. And I'm not asking why, because the type of men I have to ask why always have answers routinely rooted in patriarchy and white male dominance theory, and Frantz Fanon might have been right about y'all specifically with your Black skins and your white masks. I'm done asking why, I'm asking you when. How long is it going to take for you to realize we are all you got? How long is it going to take for you to wield your influence on each other and the women that need your approval for the betterment of the whole of the group? How long until you realize that you will continue to suffer at a much greater degree at that, the longer you refuse to work in tandem with us? Because no matter what them white folks tell you, I hate to break it to you, you were never designed to work on top of us. Our people are not built like that. And the mishandling and denigration of Black women is contrary to the concept of creation itself and antithetical to the aspect of acquiring abundance. You think I'm just talking pretty? Let me prove it to you. Black women are the reason we survived chattel slavery. It was our agricultural skill sets passed down from matriarchs in the motherland that allowed us to meet the demands of the industry. Our reproductive labor prevented Negroes from going extinct. Our medicine fought off illness and infection when old masters would have left you for dead and then beat you for dying. Black women taught an entire generation of Black people how to read after slavery. Black women organized and executed every mainstream boycott that you can think of. Black washerwomen organized to get some respect on their names so they could bring in some extra income to support the household they still had to run when they got off of work to take care of you and your kids. Black women taught Black kids how to protect themselves physically and mentally as they integrated school so they could keep going to school and make something out of themselves to make something out of your sacrifice. Black women have been working polls, doing voter registration and education since the Civil Rights Movement. Just ask my grandma from Camden County, North Carolina, who drove the school bus my daddy rode to school on, was a cafeteria lady during the day, still found time to make sure he had a home-cooked meal, and so too did the people down to the church house before they went to work to the polls every election season. 92% of Black women voted for a presidential candidate that had a plan for Black men, while 22% of you argued about whether or not she was Black, refused to listen to D.L. Hughley when he made his mistake, and pledged your allegiance to somebody who signed their name on a check they did not want to give you anyway. We show up for you. We are your army. And you shoot us down like enemies and treat it like it's friendly fire, and your mama ought to be shamed. For all this technology to be developed so we don't have to walk around like cavemen, for you to resort to your brute strength under the weight of your emotions to forcibly extract dominance where you cannot naturally find it is weak. It should tell you that you cannot naturally dominate Black women. And for men who will do anything not to appear weak to another man, to regularly exhibit weak behavior around women is questionable. We are in the middle of a revolution and you are showing us you're too scary to show up where it counts. But Black women do not have the luxury of being afraid. Let me go back for a second here. Do you know why Black women were so integral to the civil rights movement? It wasn't just because we were Black too and experiencing all the racial terror and disenfranchisement. It was because we were getting raped. Economic intimidation and lynching affected everybody, and a lot of people don't talk about it, but systemic racialized sexual violence against Black women endured well past enslavement. So it wasn't just about empowerment and access to resources, it was about agency and access to safety. You want to talk about Claudette Colvin Cool or Mary Louise Smith and all the other men and women before Rosa Parks, but you need to talk about Recy Taylor. And you may not know her name, but don't play with me. You've always known Black women face sexual violence from white people on top of facing it from you. So if you knew that the whole time, I have to ask you, is it envy? Are you so willing to dispose of us because you know exactly how much we've been through, but can't understand how we've been able to excel so far in spite of? Interesting.